Hey, welcome back. The last time I worked with flax seeds, I made a few things, some hummus. I think I made some crackers or something like that. I'm going to revisit flax seeds with a bread that my wife likes. But I'm going to make a few modifications because it just uses straight flax seeds and I find it a little overwhelming for my taste. So I'm going to make a gluten-free oat flour flaxseed bread. So let's get started. As with all good bakers, what's the first things they do? Right. Turn on the oven, get that preheating, and 2, prep your pan. Again, my usual, I'm just gonna spray it with a little nonstick spray and then make a sling out of a piece of parchment paper. One more little modification that I've just recently been doing. Take your parchment paper, crease the edges. That way they're not standing straight up. Okay, our pan's ready. Oven is on. We can start working with, since it is a quick bread, we'll start working with the dry ingredients. So I've got a cup of oat flour in here. You know, I like that. Keeps things gluten-free and it's got a nice little flavor to it. Flax seeds. Now I ground these up myself. This is 1 cup of oat flour, 10 ounces of flaxseed. I ground that up in one of these. You can get these for about 10, 15 bucks. So that goes in there. Pinch of salt, not much, just enough to kind of boost the flavor a little bit. Baking powder, I got 1 teaspoon. Okay, now one mistake that I see a lot of people make is not mixing their dry ingredients before they put the wet ingredient in. If you're using a mechanical mixer, I mean the pastry chefs I'm doing are usually making about 20 to 30 loaves worth of something like this. And they've got the big old mixer that you could probably bathe a small child in. Unfortunately, I'm just going to mix it up in a bowl. So just whisk it up. You want it fairly well incorporated. You want to especially make sure that that baking powder is mixed in well, and the salt too. Okay, we'll set that aside. Now let's work with the wet ingredients. So, wet ingredients. I've got 2 bananas. Let's get those prepped. Let's get those ready. Now, one of the problems I have with this, I could use this, but it leaves it in pretty big chunks. I mean, that's great for banana bread or some of the other desserts I've made. And I think it's just a little too chunky for me, for this bread. This will take forever. If I could use mechanical means, but I don't want to clean 100 million parts. There is another option though. Potato ricer. That will work just as good. Plus it's fun squishing bananas. Three eggs. They're going in next. Now I'm going to get this I want to get the eggs kind of well incorporated, so I'm going to start mixing just these two items. Just to make sure that those are, like I said, well incorporated. Okay, that looks good. Next item. Got coconut oil, 1/3 of a cup. You can use olive oil in this or a neutral flavored oil. Those are fine. And then I've got a 1/2 cup of water. You know, now would be the time to really think long and hard about flavors. What other flavor would go good with this? We could do my chilies. No, not today. It would be good though. It would be. So my wife had suggested this when I told her I was going to make this. Amaretto extract. And I'm not going to measure this. I'm going to eyeball it. Probably about a teaspoon. We'll say a teaspoon. For those of you who do like to measure those things. We'll mix that up. Okay. I can smell that amaretto. Pretty nice. Okay, next thing. Get the wet stuff on the dry stuff. And start stirring this up. In conventional baking, you're going to want to get that batter into the pan, into the oven, as soon as you can. Because you don't want to waste the gas being produced by the baking powder. Okay? With flax seeds, you kind of want to let them hydrate a little bit. So we're going to let this sit for a minute or so. Of course, the minute or so was up a few minutes ago before I finally got that last few words out of my mouth. So we're ready to go. Yeah, sometimes I have to do a couple takes on things. I'm not perfect. Okay. Into the pan. Again, that amaretto is smelling pretty awesome right now. I'll give it a little bit of shake to even it out a little bit. A couple of taps just in case. It's going in the oven. Oh, the oven's on at 350. Did I forget to say that? Yeah, I think I did. Oh, anyways, 350. It's going to cook about 50 minutes, but I'm going to start checking at about 40, okay? I'll see you in probably about 40 minutes. Timer's going off. Let's go pull the bread out of the oven. And here we go. Looks pretty awesome. Time to set the timer again for 10 minutes. It's got to cool a bit before we can try to pull it out. Oh. Okay, it's time to depan. So I'm just going to take a butter knife, just a regular ordinary one. You can use a mini offset spatula if you want. I'm just going to run along the lines, along the edges of where, well, the parchment paper isn't. And it's kind of started to pull away from the edges a little bit, which is, it's okay. Okay. Cross your fingers. Let's try to pull this right out. There we go. Of course, now this is cooled enough that I can handle. Now to take the parchment paper off. Now it's going to cool the rest of the way. Probably take about an hour or so. I'll be back. Hey, here we have it. It's completely cool. Let's take a look at the insides and see what we got. Nice tooth to it. Very nice. I like the crust. Jam, cream cheese, goat cheese spread. How about the cream mozzarella from last week's show? I'm just going to go with some butter. I'll give it a taste. Oh, very good. Flax bread comes through. The amaretto is nice in the background. It's not overwhelming on the flaxseed. So, I'm Chef Terry. This is my version of flax bread. Oh, by the way, it is gluten-free. I'll see you next week.